Back at it. And for y'all that come in talking about walking in the park, bro, this is a gym. So pay attention to what you're looking at before you say anything. You know, because unlike some people, a lot of us do work out, right? A lot of us do work on our health, as well as running marathons. So anybody that come in hollering about, so say the guy who walks in the park, you gotta watch the film and pay attention. Sometimes, if you're just looking on the outside, you never know what's on the inside. So you gotta pay attention. What should we be paying attention to, Stock Sniper? Pay attention to the people that are coming by. Pay attention to what's going on. This is the outside gym, meaning that we are working out. So everybody, I'm letting it be known right now. So you come in and you talking about walking in the park. This is a gym. It's called the outside gym. Again, if you pay attention to details, you're seeing people exercise. You're seeing people with exercise gear on. You got people out here working on their health, right? So we got to make sure we pay attention to that. And I got to say that on a regular basis for the people in the back that come in. So it won't have to be said again. So now, if you come in hollering about that, I know you just doing something. You ain't got nothing else to do but to come in and you don't be negative about whatever it is that I'm going to say. Which, whoa, what's going on, y'all? What's going on, chat? It is Money Monday. Money Monday, fresh start of the new week. What is Money Monday, Stock Sniper? The first day of the week to go to work. The first day of the week to go to school. The first day of the week to work out. Money Monday means a lot of things, guys. It just don't mean money. It just don't mean currency. You know, because I'm out here working out, guess what I'm doing? I'm getting to the money. And yes, your health, working out, running 4 miles a day, and then walking another 1.5 miles. 2 workouts in one. Yes, it is a putting the work in. I got to get to the bag. I got to get to the money. And where's the money, Stock Sniper? At the end of the track. That's where the money is. Yeah, so I appreciate y'all for joining me. Hope y'all having a great day. I hope you are putting your work in, whatever your work may be. Everybody's work is different. You might be teaching. You might be putting in a motor. You might be teaching Bible study, whatever the case may be. You might be out running, putting the work in. So I hope y'all having a great day. Hope you're having a great day. Hope you're having a great day. I'm absolutely having a great day. How is that, Stock Sniper? Because God woke me up another day to see another Money Monday and to come out here and put the work in with ease. Stock Sniper, you ain't going up on your run? No, I'm gonna stay right here where I'm at. I'm gonna stay right here where I'm at. It's flowing, it's going good. I'll probably move up in a couple of weeks. Then I'll go up higher. I'll go straight to the 5 miles a day and then increase through December. That's what I'm gonna do. I appreciate everybody that joined me for that workout I did on Friday night. If you don't know, my Longhorns played on Saturday, so I couldn't join on that one. And of course, you know, Georgia Bulldogs took care of their business on Saturday. So it's all right though. We got 2 games left in the season, and hopefully we go and take care of business so we can be inside the playoffs. That's what we hoping. So I appreciate y'all for joining me, man. I really do. Let me turn this down a second. Hold on, chat. Yeah, this is the beginning of the walk down. I think we're at about episode 147, getting close to 150. I got to go back inside and, number them right. I ain't been doing that, Chad. So I got to go in there and start numbering those walk downs correctly. But I believe we're at around 147. We got about 3 or 4 more episodes to go before we move on to season 4. Yeah, that's what's going on. So yeah, man, if you just now tuning in, Donald Trump now is saying release the Epstein files. He want them to vote and he want them to release them. All of a sudden now, he want to change his mind. Man, you should have been released those Epstein files. You should have been did it. First day in office. You should have released them right off the top. That's my opinion, chat. Doing work. Good afternoon, sir. Good afternoon. Doing work. Steve Banno. Stay fit, brother. Keep it up the rest of your life. Yeah, I've been doing it for this about to be 26 summers coming up. Yeah, I've been doing it for 25 summers. And 2026 will be 26 summers. I've been putting the work in. Not very long. I hope I'm able to do this another 15, 20 years. And that's not undoable because in the marathons, I see a lot of older guys, 70, 80, still out ripping and running and still running on the track at the age of 70 and 80. So I hope that God blesses me to get to that point. Hopefully God can bless me to still be doing this at 72 years old, which is another 20 years from now. I'll be 72. But I got good inspiration by the older guys that run with us in the marathon. That's why it's always good to be around certain type of people that can give you, okay, he can do it, I can do it too if God wake me up every single morning. So some people are like, man, you ain't gonna better run no 4 or 5 miles in your 70s. That's the people that think like that are not around people that's doing it. So yes, that's what's so lovely about the marathons. You get to see the older guys. Some people say 50 is old, 50 is not old. When you can come out here and you can run in marathons. 70 is not old, long as God wake you up every single day and you can still do the things that you're supposed to do. That's motivation, man, seeing those 70-year-old guys, 80-year-old guys still running in the marathons. Yeah, I seen a lot of them. I see a lot of them, because once you're doing this for a lifestyle, you got to keep doing. You got to keep going, So that's my motivation. So when I started going to the marathons, and I'm seeing 75, 70, 80-year-old guys still running, lacing the bootstraps up and running in the marathons. It is absolutely, absolutely a blessing and a dream of mine to be able to still do this 20 years from now. That's one of my biggest blessings that I hope God can give me. That's why it's very important to put the work in and help other people. That'll help you out, give you a little bit of boost, a little bit of favor from the good Lord. I'm currently 245 pounds. I'm 37. When I was 22, I weighed 541. Yeah, stay on the journey, lifestyle journey. Slow progress is better than no progress at all. That's a fact. So just keep on going on the journey, and everything will work out just fine. That is an incredible accomplishment. A lot of people don't have the mindset or the willpower to keep going every single day and wait for their pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. They want instant gratification. They want the results right now, ASAP, And don't get me wrong, it can work like that, but 8 times or 7 or 8 times out of 10, life don't work like that, man. You got to put the work in every single day. So, and I've been doing it for 26 summers, 25 summers for sure. So I'm going on 26 summers of putting the work in. Yes, it's a journey. Sometimes, you fall off. you know, but then you get back on it, you know, because it's not perfect. But as long as you got your plan and you be consistent 70% of the time, then it's success and hopefully good health at the end of the rainbow. That's how it works, guys. That's how it works. We got Monday Night Football coming on tonight, guys. I might, since we had a good turnout for when the Longhorns played Georgia, I think we're going to kick it tonight. The Cowboys play tonight. The Cowboys and the Raiders. So I think we're going to kick it tonight and watch the game. Hope y'all come join me. I will be doing commentary. You know, I won't, I think tonight it'll be more sports oriented. But Saturday night, I was more of, you know, talking about what's going on in the world. But tonight, I think we're going to keep the hangout and the kicking it. We're gonna keep the kicking it with the stock sniper. We're gonna try to keep it on sports as much as possible. Please consider liking and subscribing. That's right. Hey, what's up to Don? Appreciate y'all for joining me. I'm the host, the one and only stock sniper. Yeah, guys. Donald Trump is now saying, release the files. And I think tomorrow is when they're supposed to vote. And we're going to find out what's going to happen on the releasing of the files. They want he said, all Republicans vote to release the files. So that's what we're waiting on this week, to release up the Epstein files, you know. But in my opinion, that was a wrong move that Trump decided to try to hold on to the files or act like there ain't no files. He should have just released them on day one. And we wouldn't be here. We wouldn't be where we at right now. We'll be more focused, you know, on work. We'll be more focused on building back better. That's what we'll be more focused on. You know, we would have got all the bad news, you know, would have been out of the way. You know, and that's what it is. You know, but at the same time, that a lot of this stuff, even though it's real crazy and it's real out of line, you know, a lot of the stuff, in my opinion, is a distraction, right? It's a distraction because when the conviction came down on Epstein, the files should have been available right then and there. So sometimes, guys, as Americans, we have to realize a lot of stuff are distractions, you know. Even though nobody likes, you know, that's one of the baddest, that's one of the worst distractions, you know, because everybody care about young kids, you know. And that distraction right there will actually put all the motion on halt. And guess what? Ain't nothing wrong with putting the motion on halt when it got something to do with kids, girls, and young boys, you know, getting taken advantage of, man. That's something bad right there. Manipulated, or whatever the case may be, you know. So hopefully tomorrow the news is not horrible that'll shake up, you know, I ain't gonna say the world, because a lot of these countries, guys, you know, to be honest with you, a lot of these countries, they are okay. A lot of these countries overseas, they are okay with stuff like that. They're okay with, you know, 15 to 16-year-olds. You know, their morals and principles are, you know, not as harsh. I'm gonna just keep it like that, not as harsh as what we are in America. It's 18 or over here, where overseas in some of these other countries, it might be 14 or 15. You know, I mean, I hate to say it like that, but that's exactly what it is. That's what it is, guys. A lot of these countries overseas, you know, they just look it up. and do a couple of research and see what what do they allow. And only country that I really think is about the same as America is Russia. You know what I'm saying? The rest of those countries, majority of them, they are right. You know, it's not against the law, put it like that, for 15, 16-year-olds. It's not against the law. But Russia and America, when it comes to that, you know, you can't be 15, 16-year-old doing weird stuff with, can't be doing that stuff with no kids, bro. You know, so hopefully we get all this out of the way. Hopefully we get all of this out of the way come today and tomorrow, and we be ready to rock and roll, man, and keep on focusing on earning, spending less, and making some good old investments, and you know, and keep it, and hopefully we can get this country ready to rock and roll and get ready to bounce off this 2026, ready to rock and roll, ready to go. Whole new year, we ready to go. So it's November, I think today is the 17th, November the 17th, 2025. We got roughly 45 days to go before 2025 is a wrap. Man, it's just amazing how fast the year has gone. Really, really, really amazing. Really, really amazing how fast this year has gone. So, 2026, man, ready to rock and roll. That's what we got going on, man. As we 20 minutes in on this walk down, really, really making it work on Money Monday. Yeah. It's nice and real good out here. Nice and cool. Nice and cool. 4-mile run. 1.5 miles, 1.25 miles walk. I'm not gonna go over like I did Friday, guys. I gotta end this, right on time. And that'll be right at 1.25 miles. Yeah, because I ain't go all the way around. I cut it through the middle of the track, which is about 1.25 miles on Monday to start off the week. But at the same time, we still got weight training tonight. So I kind of like the weight training session. The only thing is I got to keep putting it on mute because they play music inside of that gym. Tonight, I'm arms. Yeah, just arms tonight. Biceps and triceps. That's what we're doing tonight. On Mondays, we do biceps and triceps. On Tuesdays, we do chest and back. Wednesdays, we do legs and shoulders. And then come back Thursday, biceps, triceps. Tuesday, chest and back. And then again on Friday, legs and shoulders. That's the split we do. That's the split we do. We don't really do stomach, because that's what, that's what the work on the track is for, burning belly fat. But if you don't know, I'm training for a marathon. That's really why I'm doing 3 days. Really, I'm doing 4 days because this walk down is also a workout, but I don't count it. So 3 days, Monday through Friday. So with that being said, I hope you join me tonight. I think I'm gonna go live again at the gym for arms, for biceps and triceps. And the movements that I do are strictly running type movements. That's the weight training that I'm doing. It's basically for like a running type motion. The biceps, the tricep movements, uh, the back workout movements. If you've seen the back workout on Friday, that's the running movements. The leg, not doing squats, right? Just leg extensions and leg curls. That's what we doing. No squats. Leg extensions, leg curls, and calf raises on the weights. Full body workout, split up. That's how the workout is going. It's going real good. The thing about running, especially when you running long distance, weight training helps out a whole lot. It makes your whole body stronger, especially when you're doing the weight training you're doing is run movement specific. Yeah, so right after this marathon though, guys, I'm going straight into jiu-jitsu training. Because if you don't know, for the 150th birthday of America, I will be entering into a jiu-jitsu tournament. So after January 10th, which is the marathon, the Chevron Marathon, I'm gonna take out a week off. I'm gonna do nothing but stretching on my week off. I'm not gonna run. I'm not going to lift weights. I'm gonna stretch for a whole week straight after January 10th. And then right after that, we're gonna go into jiu-jitsu training, something I haven't done in 15 years. Yep, I have not competed in jiu-jitsu in 15 years. So for 2025, which is America's 150th birthday, and also UFC 150, I will be competing in a jiu-jitsu tournament. So if you just not coming on the channel, that's what the next phase is. And then after that, I won't train jiu-jitsu anymore. I'm gonna hang up my belts. So I haven't done it in 15 years. I am a black belt in jiu-jitsu. I haven't competed in 15 years. So I think that, since I'm getting older, I will be turning close to 53 on UFC White House, July 4th, 2026, America's 150th birthday. I'll still be 52, but my birthday is after that. So I'm gonna say I'll be 53, and after I compete in that tournament, I will never get on the mats ever again in life. Well, I ain't gonna say that, because I am competitive. Ain't no telling how I might feel. But, because when it comes to jiu-jitsu and grappling, that is very, very intense work. So, but the good news is, grappling conditioning and coming out here running miles every day is totally different. Just imagine wrestling an hour and a half. That is, strenuous, activities. But we're gonna work our way in. We're gonna start off real slow because, like I said, I haven't competed in a jiu-jitsu tournament. I haven't wrestled or grappled with nobody in 15 years. And I'm not gonna go in there and like try to act like I'm all this and all that. Because one thing about grappling and wrestling, and it's easy to get injured. And like I say, when I'm beginning stages of exercising or grappling or wrestling or whatever the case may be, I always start off super simple. That's why when I started back lifting weights and training 3 times a day, I didn't get sore. Why you didn't get sore, Stock Sniper? Because I started off really light. I started off really light, and I didn't get sore at all. And like the second week, I just bumped up the weights and, everything with normal flow. Most people, one thing you don't do, guys, older guys and younger guys, when you go starting to work out, do not go in there for the first time and overdo yourself. Don't go in there the first time and And we work on. We first start working out. All of a sudden, we really, really sore the next day. If you know you haven't worked out, always go light. That reduce soreness. Then you won't have to take any time off. You work really, really, really light for I would say 2 weeks, because it's a marathon. It's not a sprint. You work out really, really light for a couple of weeks, and then move up very, very slowly, because it's a marathon. It's not a sprint. And that's how we got. And how you implement that is you put it in your subconscious mind that it's a lifestyle, right? And that you start off really, really light, and then you work your way up. That will avoid soreness, and also stretch. And when you're stretching, you first start stretching and you ain't stretched in a while, don't kill yourself on the stretch. Barely work your way into it, and then gradually stretch a little bit more further and things like that. And over time, you're stretching to get better. And if you're lifting weights, it avoids injuries. Yeah, it avoids a lot of injuries and soreness until the muscles get, ready to rock and roll after about a month and a half. Then you can say, well, okay, let me go up a little bit, because you did it the proper way, So I hope that helps somebody out right there. So yeah, guys, we're about to end of this walk down. 27 minutes into the walk down. Appreciate y'all for joining me. I am the host of One and Only Stock Sniper. We got the Cowboys and the Raiders tonight. I will be going live, guys. Come kick it with me. And, if you're watching the game, come kick it with me, man. I'm gonna do some commentary tonight. I ain't gonna do like I did Saturday. Tonight is gonna be about the game. To see can the Cowboys beat the Raiders on Monday Night Football. And that's what we're gonna do tonight. We're gonna watch the game and we're gonna kick it and we're gonna relax. Yeah. Also, I ain't gonna say that. But yeah, man. Also though, you gotta make sure you're drinking plenty of fluids. Right? You gotta drink a lot of water. That's very, very important. Water, coconut water, things like that. Less sugar, less salt, because salt and sugar, guys, is toxic. It really is. It's kind of hard to avoid, salt and sugar 100%, but it's very, very toxic. So, the best thing to do is stay away from the sodas. Stay away from the Jack in the Box fries. That helps out a whole lot. That will also help out with your muscle soreness and flexibility. It also helps with that. So I don't know, because I know I've been getting a lot of benefits since I don't eat meat really like that. When I eat meat, it's cheat meals. So I know that I've had a lot of benefits basically from not eating any meat. Well, Stock Sniper, what do you eat for protein? It's called beans, chickpeas, red beans, pinto beans, navy beans. That's where all your protein is, right there. See, a lot of people think a lot of people do this. I'm gonna talk about a vegan for a little bit, then I gotta go. A lot of people, when it comes to not eating meat, they go to these meatless the meatless stuff like Beyond Meats, processed meatless stuff. Now, and a lot of people think that it's expensive to really eat vegan. It's really not, if you keep it nice and simple, right? Like, I try to stay away from the Beyond Meats. I stay away from the processed meats. Now, I do eat them sometimes, but very, very, I look at that as like, I look at the processed vegan plant-based packages that's in the frozen section of the store, those are like cheat meals to me. That's not something I would hang my not eating meat life on. I wouldn't hang it on that. But the main thing about vegan, not eating any meat, vegetarian, is beans, right? Leafy greens, fruits, vegetables, but mainly beans. Why, Stock Sniper? Because beans has protein in it, right? You know, you gotta have the ability to put protein in your body. In other words, you can't just be eating fruits and spinach and salad all day. You know, you can't do that, because you're going to end up probably getting a protein deficiency unless you're eating that and you're also drinking protein shakes, which me, I kind of stay away from the protein shakes. I stick with beans, spinach, vegetables. Every now and then I eat rice, because beans and rice do go good together. Stick with it like that. That is nice and clean right there. You know, but you got to make sure when you are eating beans, it got to be a lot of beans. The beans has to be the main portion of the plate. In other words, beans, usually the meat, the chicken, the steak is the main portion of the plate. But when you decide to go meatless, when you don't eat meat, well, you know, these days, you know, with the new things, they call it vegan. But it's don't eat meat. You got to replace your main portion with beans, and a lot of beans, because about 8 to 10 ounces of beans is about 10 grams of protein. So if you're getting 30 grams of protein in a steak, that means you have to eat 30 ounces of beans. In other words, you got to eat about 3 or 4 portions of beans. That's right there will cover all your protein. And you got to eat like that about 3 to 4 times a day. But if you are exercising, key point to being meatless, and you coming out here and you working out like me, you have to eat all day. You have to be drinking on something all day, because all this working out, you are burning a lot of calories, a lot of fat, a lot of lean muscle, a lot of muscle, especially if you're running. So we got to keep that in mind. Some people that are vegan got to understand that if you're working out, you got to double. You basically got to eat throughout the day. And you got to make sure you're getting a lot of protein, a lot of fluids. You know, otherwise, you're going to lose weight real drastically, real fast. That's why when you make a conscious decision to become meatless, first of all, you got to talk it over with the doctor, right? You got to talk it out with the doctor. You have to already know where your numbers are, meaning blood work. You got to know where you stand, you know, and then you got to take it from there. And you got to know your own body. You got to know, actually, really, you have to, which is a big adjustment, you can't always go for the taste. See, that's why a lot of people, if you see on the internet, everybody talking about Beyond Meat, all these processed vegan packages. They taste good, right? But they are not really healthy. What do you mean by that, Stock Sniper? They got extra ingredients. They got a lot of salt in it. They got a lot of fat in it. You know, a lot of things that really and truly, if a person is eating processed plant-based packages, the stuff that's out of the freezer, that's just like eating regular processed food. You might as well not even be a vegan, in my opinion. You might as well, yes, you're not eating meat, but that stuff is just as bad as regular processed food. A lot of that stuff, because of taste, has just as much sugar in it as a Dr. Pepper. So when it comes to vegan and living a vegan life and a meatless life, you have to really, really, really eat a lot of beans. You got to eat a lot of vegetables, a lot of leafy greens. Yes, rice too. Beans and rice go good together. And you also have to make sure you're double eating. You're double eating. And you got to make sure you're eating fruits. So I hope that helps somebody out. You know, hope that helps somebody out. And me, it has helped me out tremendously. And the reason why I brought that up, because I was like, when I started lifting weights, I didn't get sore, right? So a lot of the things and a lot of my performance, because remember, I've been an athlete all my life. So a lot of things and a lot of my performance, I did a lot of things when I was on meat, and I did a lot of things once I became meatless. And my energy and my body, particularly the system of my body, is a whole lot better. I'm never bloated, right? I'm never constipated, right? I mean, I could come out here, energy is through the roof. So, and also, it's good for your mental health. Eating fresh vegetables, beans. I got to turn around, guys. Fresh vegetables and beans, you know, and eating fruit and drinking a lot of water. Coconut water is very, very good, you know. Coconut water is very, very good. Well, stock sniper. What about B12? Well, you could get B12. Most vegans get their B12, which is you need that in the body. Most vegans get their B12 from vitamins, which I haven't taken my Mega Man vitamins that I was raised on Mega Man vitamins. Well, I haven't taken them in a while. Well, me particularly, I drink soy milk. Soy milk has a lot of that's another thing. Soy milk also has a lot of protein in it. Also has a lot of B12 in it. So, but I think I'm gonna go back to taking my Mega Man vitamins. If you know what Mega Man vitamins are, if you know, you know, but they're great, great vitamins that you can find at GNC. Well, nowadays I think Walmart got it. What else? CVS and those type of stores now carry Mega Man vitamins. Mega Man vitamins, man, ooh, is the truth. You know, I kind of stopped taking them. The reason why I stopped taking them is because I think I get already a lot of my vitamins through the way that I eat. I never get sick. You know what I'm saying? I never get sick at all. I'm 52 years old and I don't get sick. And I know for a fact it's because how I basically, my eating habits and what I put in my body, you know, I don't get sick at all, guys. Y'all see me run in the snow, in the heat, 112 degrees. I never get sick, ever. And in my opinion, I pretty much basically know this 1,000%, that the reason why I don't get sick is because I live a vegan life. I don't eat meat. I don't drink sodas. You know, my immune system is super, super strong. You know, that's what I bet on. I don't eat processed, plant-based, vegan meat. Like I say, if I do, it's a cheat day. You know, don't get me wrong. If you've been on the channel, you know I love my brisket. You know, I do eat meat from time to time. I look at it like a cheat meal. So my cheat days are days when I eat meat. I ain't stock sniper. Your cheat days are Eating meat? Yes. Yep, because I gotta have my brisket every now and then, you know? And every now and then, that's how I keep level. And I'm able to manage it like that. I eat my brisket for a day or two. I clean my system back out. I get back on my meatless diet and I keep it pushing. Because I just love brisket, guys. I love brisket, chat. I just love it. I just love it. Mike Tyson lost against Jake Paul. Whoa, y'all, hey, y'all see, on another note, shout out to Jake Paul. Jake Paul is going to fight Anthony Joshua, guys. Woo! Bro, Jake Paul is the man. I rock with Jake Paul, man. Jake Paul is fitting to fight Anthony Joshua, guys. Everybody been wanting Jake Paul to fight a real fighter, or he finna fight a real fighter now. Anthony Joshua is a former, no, I ain't gonna say former. Anthony Joshua is a gold medal Olympic boxer. Anthony Joshua is a two-time heavyweight champion. We just seen Anthony Joshua demolish Francis Ngannou. Bro, Jake Paul is really fitting, man, he stepped it up. Just by Jake Paul even getting in the ring. If you never seen Anthony Joshua, guys, you gotta go Google him on YouTube and go watch his fights. This guy's, two-time heavyweight champion of the world, a gold medalist in the Olympics. The guy can box. The guy could put it together. Y'all, I don't know if you seen what he did to Francis Ngannou. The boy is an absolute beast, Anthony Joshua. And for Jake Paul to step his game up, man, that's called stepping your game up right there. You know, that right there is the unthinkable. See, guys, in life, that's why I rock with Jake Paul. I really do. In life, guys, and you know you putting the work in, obstacles, and taking it to the next level, to the next level, to the next level, you know, when you know what you are up against, what you have done, even if Jake Paul loses, guys, he still wins. Even if Jake Paul loses, he still wins. Now, I just think if when Jake Paul fight Anthony Joshua, Jake Paul beat this guy. I'm going to bet. I'm going with Jake Paul. Just in case. Yes, it's going to be money that I'm just going to throw away. It's going to be basically money that I know I'm going to lose. But what if I win? I put $100 on Jake Paul, and Jake Paul win. Y'all know the odds of that happening, of Jake Paul beating Anthony Joshua? The odds. That $100, bro. That $100 chat. If I bet on Jake Paul, and Jake Paul beats Anthony Joshua, that $100 that I'm basically gonna throw in the trash, that $100 is gonna turn into 1,000. That's exactly what I'm gonna do. I'm betting with Jake. I'm going with Jake Paul, because I rock with him. I like how he did it. Jake Paul, guys, is the definition of staying down till you come up. Jake Paul is the definition of when you love to do something. He loves boxing. When you love to do it, you can be anything you want to be. If Jake Paul can go from being a Disney on Disneyland or whatever on the Disney Channel, if Jake Paul can go from the Disney Channel to being a popular YouTuber to now he's fighting a two-time heavyweight champion, a stud, and a gold medalist, even if Jake Paul loses, he still wins. Why? Because he wasn't supposed to be there. That is an inspiration to any one kid in this world. Any young kid in this world and old. Jake Paul is an inspiration. And I rock with him heavy. You know, everybody was talking about it. Jake Paul ain't fighting nobody. Jake Paul this, Jake Paul that. Well, he did it the right way. No boxing experience, guys, right? No boxing experience. Just a fan base and a love for boxing. That guy loves boxing. That's what happens when you love to do something, guys. That right there, Jake Paul loves boxing, right? And what Jake Paul did for Mike Tyson was amazing. All that money that Mike Tyson missed off, right? He basically got it all back. Jake Paul gave it back to him. Because if you don't know, Jake Paul was a huge Mike Tyson fan, guys. Jake Paul was a huge Mike Tyson fan. And what he did was say, come on, champ, just mix it up with me a little bit, and I got 20 million for you. Jake Paul basically gave him the money, basically. And guess what that did for Mike Tyson? That put him right back. All that money that he basically got fucked out of, he gave it right back to him. I rock with Jake Paul. I really do. Jake Paul is an inspiration. You know, when you love something, that's how you go at it. And Jake Paul is not even going to be tripping. He never boxed before. And he took it one step at a time. One step at a time. Like I talk about all the time on the channel. You got to take it one step at a time. One day at a time. Now look at Jake Paul, guys. Jake Paul is about to fight Anthony Joshua. Even if he loses, he still wins. And that's why I'm going to just put $100 on Jake Paul. I don't care if he loses. Somebody say, stock sniper, oh, he ain't going to win. You're going to lose your money. Yeah, that's money I'm already putting in the trash. But if he wins, that's $1,000 payday. And guess what? Since it's coming on Netflix and it's free, shout out to Netflix, and it's free, I'm looking at it like I paid $100 for the fight. That's what I'm putting in my mind, in my subconscious mind. I'm putting it in my mind that I'm paying $100 like it was a pay-per-view. And yes, I would probably pay $100 pay-per-view to watch that fight. Yes, I would. So I'm looking at it like I'm paying pay-per-view, $100. But I'm going with Jake Paul. That's what I'm going to do, guys. And guess what? If Jake Paul wins, that's going to be $1,000 off the rip. Straight like that. That's how I'm going to do it. Now, I'm not saying, you know, I think Jake Paul going to win because I don't. But you never know what might happen. You know, just like Mike Tyson back in the 80s. We didn't think Mike Tyson was going to lose when he got knocked out for the first time ever. You just never know. You know what I'm saying? Jake Paul is ready to rock and roll, guys. Jake Paul is ready to rock and roll. Jake Paul eats, sleep, everything boxing. You know? And I bet on, I say it all the time on this channel. I bet on love, the love of the sport, more than I bet on athletic skills. That's you can have all the athlete, you can be the best athlete ever. But if you lazy and you don't put the work in and you really ain't loving what you're doing, sooner or later it's gonna come up. And guess what we know? Jake Paul loves boxing. And I think, well, I ain't gonna say I think he's gonna win because I don't. But I wouldn't be surprised if Jake Paul won. I wouldn't be surprised. Mike Tyson is the coach. Well, that's a good, whoa, I didn't know that. Good news. Thank you for putting me up on game. I didn't know that Mike Tyson was the coach. That's, man, see, I love Jake Paul, bro. I love Jake Paul. I can't wait to go home so I can really see if that's true. Man, I love Jake Paul. I ain't gonna even lie. I love everything about Jake Paul. You know, but at the beginning, I was kind of fishy, you know, because if y'all don't know, I love the UFC. MMA is my background. I grew up with that, you know, so I automatically, you know, but then as he kept going and I started paying attention to him, I say, hold up, this guy loves what he's doing. He's not just doing it for the money. He loves boxing. You know, some people, like, when we was young, we see Michael Jordan, you know, and we see Michael Jordan. So we want to, be like Mike. Well, Jake Paul, you know what I'm saying? His family didn't put him into boxing, but he loved boxing. And then when he got a little bit older and got a little bit bigger, because y'all know Jake Paul used to be, a little kid, but he started growing. You know what I'm saying? He started growing. And he said, well, you know what? Let me go to the gym and actually start mixing it up a little bit. And when Jake Paul went and started mixing it up, he fell in love with it for real. And that's what I always teach. That's what I always preach. I will go with love for the sport over talent any day. That's just me. As being in athletics all my life, I've seen a lot of great athletes, but they piss poor teammates. They don't train. They don't do what they're supposed to do. They go strictly on the athletic ability until they get to a certain level when you have to really put the work in. In other words, you really have to love the sport. And if you don't love it and you got somebody else that's just as athletic as you but love the sport, you're going to lose for the first time. I've seen guys that have won their whole entire life. Chat. I've been in competition. I've been teammates of a lot of different type of people that were extraordinary athletes at a certain type of time. But then once we take it to the next level and the competition is just as good as you, when you're used to winning all your life, you're used to being the fastest. You're used to being the strongest. You're used to being the one to get all the girls. But then when life goes and everybody starts taking up to the next level, but you're not taking it to the next level because you're so used to beating everybody for 10 years that you don't put the work in. And then next thing you know, you meet other great athletes that are really putting the work in because they love what they do. When you see that, and then you get beat for the first time, next thing you know, you tuck your tail in and it's over. I've seen a lot of athletes like that, guys. That's why I say life is a marathon. It's not a sprint. Hey, what's up, Napoleon? How you doing, bro? That's why I say life is a marathon. It's not a sprint. I've seen so many guys that undefeated, score 40, 50 points a game, score 5 touchdowns a game, run for 300, 400 yards. All through junior high, Pee Wee League, junior high, high school. And then when they get to the next level, which is D1 college athletics, when everybody else is just as good as you, then your flaws come out. Your lack of the love of the process of practice. Yes, I'm talking about practice. Because when you was in high school, you didn't have to go to practice. Why? Because you were scoring 5 touchdowns a game, running for 300 yards, and you get a bye. You don't have to go lift weights like everybody else. You could probably flunk a couple classes. Teacher gonna pass you anyway. Coach gonna go in there, talk to the teacher, you pass. You used to getting a handout. Then when you get to the next level, you get looked at by the University of Texas, hook 'em horns, and then you go up there to Austin, shout out to Austin, Texas, and you go out there and those guys can run just as fast as you. They can jump just as high as you. What else they can do? They can run a 4.140. They can run a 4.240 like you. When you got linebackers, you know what I'm saying? They can catch and run you from down from behind. Where they got linebackers and defensive ends that are running 4.440s and 4.340s. The stuff you was doing in high school, they running you down. But they're not used to putting no work in, so now their confidence go away. I know so many guys that went through that. that went through that. But somebody like a Jake Paul, no skills, no training, no amateur background, none of that, can slowly but surely work his way up. While everybody and all of us want him to fight a pro boxer, all he's doing is plotting, planning, and strategizing and getting his skills up, because the things that we're not seeing him do, like right now, I'm out here training for a marathon. 9 times out of 10, Jake Paul is somewhere working out, watching film, or doing aftercare from the workout. I guarantee you, that's what Jake Paul is doing right now. Right now, Jake Paul is either working out, watching film, or in some getting a massage, getting rubbed down from the effects of the workout, and getting ready for the late night workout. Like what I'm about to do. Getting ready for my 7 o'clock workout. Working out 3-4 times a day. When you love doing something, guys, it's all day action. It's all day action. That's what it is. All day you training. Whether it's your mind, your body, you're training all day long. Like for this marathon, I love what I'm doing. So guess what? Every day I'm training. From when I wake up, I'm training. Ready to rock and roll. That's why everybody want to be entrepreneurs these days. Why do you want to be an entrepreneur? Because you can do what, when, how you want to do. No, when you're an entrepreneur, that means you work for yourself. You actually put more work in than you do if you were working on somebody else's job. On a 9 to 5, you clock in, you clock out, that's it. When you work for yourself, everything is on you. So when you're an entrepreneur, on whatever level you on, if you putting the work in or you accepting calls and dealing with the paperwork of whatever business that you got, you still on a 24-hour plan. That's why it's very important to love what you do. Don't be an entrepreneur. Don't try to start your own business just because it sounds good. A lot of people want to be entrepreneurs, want to work for themselves just because it sounds good. But on the other end, they just lazy. Saying I'm an entrepreneur, I work for myself. I go to work when I want to, wake up when I want to, go to bed when I want to. That's AKA lazy mindset. And then when it don't work out, you wondering why it don't work out. When you're trying to work for yourself, when you're trying to build your own business from the ground up, whatever the case may be, I don't care what type of business it is, you're gonna have to spend some sleepless nights if you want it to work out. I'm sorry. You're going to spend some sleepless nights. You might, the beginning of the business, 8 times out of 10, you're going to be in the red. And you have, when you work for yourself, meaning that you are the business, guess what? You got to be the one who put the work in, that do the job. You got to do the paperwork. You got to do your payroll. You got to do all those different type of businesses, all those different things in one. You got to do it all. So if you just not starting a business and you think you're going to sleep to 12 o'clock, sorry, it's not going to be successful. It's not, I'm sorry. I hate to tell you. You got all these aspirations of being an entrepreneur. Yeah, in the beginning stages, you can't sleep to 12 o'clock. You think Jeff Bezos sleeps to 12 o'clock? You think Mark Zuckerberg sleeps to 12 o'clock? You think the stock sniper sleeps to 12 o'clock? I don't remember the last time I slept to 12 o'clock. I've been doing this for so long, my body won't let me sleep to 12 o'clock. I don't need an alarm clock. My love from what I'm doing is gonna wake me up every single morning, every single day at the same damn time. Why? Because I love what I do. That's why. That's the number one thing. Anybody you want to work for yourself, you got to understand. You better be ready to put some work in. You got to be ready to put some work in. And expect to be in the red. Don't expect to be making all this money in 6 months or 3 months. It don't work like that. That's why everybody that asks me about working for themselves, I hear somebody talking about working for themselves. Oh, I'm an entrepreneur. What time do you wake up every morning? That's the first thing I ask them. I'm an entrepreneur, man. I work for myself. It sounds good. But what time do you wake up every single morning? Oh, I'll wake up at 12 o'clock. No. That don't seem like, that seem like laziness to me. That seemed like laziness to me. You got the president of the United States, Donald Trump, 80-something years old. That man don't sleep. That's why if you want to be an entrepreneur, you gotta love, don't love the title, love the actual thing you're trying to do. If you want to be a barber, which is an entrepreneur, which is you work for yourself, you better love cutting hair. You want your own barbershop? Your barbershop better be open at 7 o'clock in the morning. Yes, that's how it goes. And at night, you better be doing your paperwork. How many people how many heads did I cut? How much money I made off each head? You know, you got to do all that. You got to be payroll. You got to be the manager. You got to be all that if you're working for yourself. Until you get comfortable enough to hire somebody else. So that's what I do. Oh man, I'm an entrepreneur. I work for myself. Okay, what time you wake up in the morning? That's the first question. How long you been in business for yourself? That's either the first or second question. The first question would be, how long have you been in business for yourself? Oh, I've been in business for a year. What time you wake up? Oh man, I wake up at 12 o'clock. I wake up when I want to, and I go to bed when I want to. Next question is, how successful is the business that you're doing? What you're telling me, it don't add up to somebody who's just been in business for 1 year. 1 year is not long. It's so many people open up businesses and fail within 90 days or 6 months. You know how many people I see open up a business? Oh, I'm an entrepreneur, man. I work for myself. And it only lasts for 3 months. Once they see it go in the red, they want to quit. In other words, they ain't in it for the long haul. So that's why you gotta love what you do. That's why I'm betting on Jake Paul. I like seeing people that love what they do. When the best thing to do is to find something you love to do, everything works out better. Why? Because you're happy, right? When you love doing something, you're happy. Your mental health, ain't nothing on your shoulders like, especially if you got a good support system, which is very, very important. If everybody is on with the program, meaning your wife, family, whatever, and you got a support system, and you're happy, guess what? All you got to do is put the work in and understand it's a marathon, it's not a sprint. Like Jake Paul. We all wanted, even me, wanted Jake Paul to hurry up and fight a real fighter. We've been asking him to do this for 2 or 3 years. But guess what? He slowly but surely, because it take time to shine. It take time to shine. It take time. And now look. Hey, what's up, ATM Tim? Appreciate you for joining. Now look. He's finna fight Anthony Joshua, a gold medalist and a two-time heavyweight champion that can rock and roll. We seen how he demolished Francis Ngannou. The guy can rock and roll, bro. He can box, straight up. He can actually box for real. He's 6'6", 250-something pounds that can move. And what is Jake Paul? 6'2", 200? Yeah, I'm betting with Jake Paul. Yeah. I'm betting with Jake Paul that night. Not because I think he's gonna win. It's just because I love Jake Paul and how he is. I like him a lot. I ain't gonna even lie. I like him a lot. And then when he come up to fight this stud of a champion, it tells you everything about Jake Paul. I don't care if I lose, but if I win, you know it's gonna be a big payday. So yeah, that's that. I'm going with Jake Paul. I think he gonna lose, but I gotta have some skin in the game because he might win. With his work ethic and how he put this together, Jake Paul gonna win, guys. I'm saying it right now. So get your screen recorders and record what I'm saying. Jake Paul is gonna beat Anthony Joshua. It's 8 rounds, I think. And yeah, it's 8 rounds. Heavyweight fight. Jake Paul gonna win. And that's my thoughts on that. So the guy in the chat, wait, what was that? Oh, I appreciate ATM Tim. That's a GOAT trophy. Appreciate you. Appreciate you for sending the gift, bro. Really appreciate it. Goldie Gold. Shout out to old Joshua, man. That's where I got that from, guys. I'm in a good mood today, I ain't gonna even lie. I'm in a great mood. It's Money Monday. Back to the work. Back to the work. Back to marathon training. And yes, tonight, gym training. I think I'm gonna go live again tonight like I did Friday for my arms and biceps tonight. Make sure y'all subscribe to the channel and come rock with me tonight. Only thing about tonight at the gym, they play the music, so it's gonna be on mute. I'm gonna have to do it like I did Friday, come in and out like that. But yeah, I'm gonna do arms, I'm gonna do biceps and triceps tonight, Monday night. Then after that, we're gonna go live again and watch the football game. Cowboys against the Raiders. So I appreciate y'all for joining me, man. Appreciate you, ATM Tim, for coming through and giving the gift. Appreciate you. Appreciate everybody for coming and rocking with me. I think I'm gonna end it right here. So the guy came in and said something about, where he at? Chris, shout out to Chris. He came in and brought up Mike Tyson and Jake Paul. And man, y'all know how I get. Somebody in the chat say something that I'm passionate about, we're gonna keep going. So he brought up Jake Paul and Mike Tyson, and I had to go on that little rant. Yeah, shout out to Jake Paul. Shout out to Jake Paul, guys. Shout out to him. A true example of when you love something, what can happen. Even if Jake Paul loses, he still wins. Why? Because he's doing something that he loved to do, which is box. Not only box, not only does he love boxing, but another key component about Jake Paul is that he liked paying these fighters what they're supposed to be paid. That's what I also love about Jake Paul. Fighter pay. A lot of these fighters, guys, particularly in MMA, get crumbs, bro. And what Jake Paul brings to the table is letting these guys, particularly mixed martial arts, make good money. Tyron Woodley, when he fought Jake Paul, got the most money he ever got in his championship years in mixed martial arts. Nate Diaz, Anderson Silva, one of the best mixed martial artists of all time, in my opinion. If he's not the best, John Jones is above him. And John Jones is my favorite mixed martial arts fighter. The most complete mixed martial arts fighter we have ever seen. And that's a fact. A lot of people don't know that John Jones is really a wrestler. But the way he fights and his style, you will never know. You would think that John Jones is a kickboxer. The style of fighting that he does, you would think that he's a kickboxer, that his main style is kickboxing, but it's not. John Jones' main skill is wrestling. All you gotta do is look at his ears. That's a dead giveaway. Whenever you see somebody with cauliflower ears, you better beware, they're gonna take you down. Because that's how your ears get well, when you see the cauliflower ears, all that is blood built up. I hate to say it like that, but that's what it is. It's blood built up. And if you're wrestling for a long time, and it comes from chokes, always being grabbed over the ears and the head a lot. Because in wrestling, guys, wrestling is one of the most difficult sports that you can ever do. It takes an enormous amount of conditioning to be a wrestler. As a wrestler, all we do is wrestle all day for hours and hours and hours. When I was a wrestler, we would wrestle for 6-7 hours straight. That's why it was so easy for me to transition from a wrestler to jiu-jitsu. That's why it was so easy, because I was already used to being on the mats for thousands of hours. Now that's another thing that my grandma and grandpa they did. They put me in, wrestling and all these things, all these sports. I had a whole full day. I had to wrestle. I had to go to jiu-jitsu. I had to baseball. They put me in everything, man. I guess that's why I'm kind of, when it comes to, athletics, I think that's probably why I'm kind of disciplined with doing this, because I learned a lot of discipline from wrestling, jiu-jitsu, taekwondo, kickboxing, all of those different martial arts. But that is a key giveaway. If you get into it with somebody in the street and you see they got those thick ears at the top, I think you better go home. Because that means that they've been wrestling a whole lot of hours. So I think this is right here, guys. I've been talking, when you start talking about MMA and those type of things, it gets me kind of hyped. And I didn't want to go this long, but I did. But I appreciate y'all for joining me. I'm going to do 2 more lives. For sure, I'm going live tonight for the football game. That's for sure. But going live with my weight training, that might be a iffy. But for sure, Monday Night Football, come kick it with me. Watching the game, full commentary. I'm not going to talk about the stock market. I'm not going to talk about Donald Trump. I'm not going to talk about Joe Biden. I'm not going to talk about Marjorie Taylor Greene, as Trump called her, Marjorie Trader Brown, because the grass ain't green no more, it's brown. That's what Trump said. Trump be trying to kick his little funny jokes. I'm not going to talk about none of them tonight. Tonight is about football. Cowboys, Raiders, Monday Night Football. I hope y'all come and join me, guys. Appreciate y'all for rocking with me, man. Appreciate everybody for supporting the channel. I appreciate everybody that come in and help me out, you know, because sometimes you give me a little bit of boost to keep going, like Chris did. You know, I was about to end the live, and he gave me something else to talk about. I appreciate y'all, man. I appreciate y'all. With that being said, 704 Wall Street is my block. 704 Wall Street is my block. Earn, spend less, and invest. And with that being said, I love and I appreciate y'all. This is the one and only Stock Sniper. To the next one, I'm out.